Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the lyrics of Damn, and honestly, it's just too good not to break down. Skipping over its meaning would be a total injustice. So this video might run a little long, so we hope you can stick around and explore it with us. We'll be breaking this down line by line, using the English translation from the Damn music video. After that, we'll dive into verse analysis before wrapping it all up with an overall interpretation of the song. Also, we want to give a huge shout out to our amazing supporters. You guys are too generous. Thank you so much. And yeah, here we go.
This is ugly, but alam mo naman, dami like it.
This could be a statement against society's idea of what's considered beautiful. The line feels like it embraces things that, others might see as undesirable. It even feels like it finds value in those quote-unquote ugly things. It feels like it's about, seeing beauty in imperfections, seeing beauty in the rawness, or even seeing beauty amidst the chaos. The use of the word ugly might not just mean, the physical appearance. It could be a metaphor for challenges, for struggles, or anything tough that we go through. This simple phrase seems to us like it's really more about individuality, authenticity, and self-acceptance. The line is talking about how beauty isn't always where we expect it to be. Icy gives off a strong impression of maybe emotional distance, like, someone who has built walls to protect themselves from getting hurt. It could reflect a kind of numbness, possibly shaped by past experiences, or even, a conscious effort to stay in control despite your inner demons. The line, whatever it is, come bite me, dares us, the listeners, to engage even if it leads to pain. It suggests this, this willingness to face conflict head-on, almost as if embracing whatever struggles or hardships may come. Put together, these lines capture this sort of mix of defiance, vulnerability, and the acceptance that suffering is a part of life. They paint a picture of someone who has been hurt, who now guards themselves, but in a way still longs for that connection with people, even if that connection comes with the risk of more pain. Next, the lines thrill from, the quote-unquote dark days, meaning they might actually thrive in tough situations. Dark days could symbolize uncertainty or the unknown, and instead of, fearing it, they're drawn to it. Maybe it could even mean they find a routine or a linear life boring, and maybe even crave the unpredictability that challenges bring. This line flips the usual, reaction to hardships. When most people see challenges and hardships as something to dread, here, there's almost an excitement, like they see struggle as a chance to grow, a chance to break free from monotony, or even find some strange sense of satisfaction in the chaos. Then we have this line that serves as almost like a reality check, a warning against the dangers of excessive positivity. It suggests that being overly optimistic can also blur one's perception of the world, making it easy to ignore risks. And when someone is too focused on the bright side, they might lose touch with reality. And in effect, they are creating a fragile sort of, illusionary world built on wishful thinking. The line tells us that no matter how carefully crafted those illusions are, the truth always finds a way to break through. The longer someone clings to, let's say, unrealistic expectations, the harder it will hit when reality finally sets in. Ultimately, this line feels to us like it isn't necessarily about rejecting optimism, it's about finding balance. It's about, reminding us that while hope is important, it should go hand in hand with a clear-eyed view of the world. Now, going to the entire verse interpretation, these lines really paint a picture of someone who's seen the harsh side of life and instead of running from it, has learned to live with it. They've built walls to protect themselves, but deep down they still long for connection, even if, at times it may end up hurting them. They find excitement in challenges and don't they don't buy into blind optimism, choosing to see things as they are. The verse really feels like someone who's been through a lot, but is also someone who has adapted well and now faces the world with a mix of toughness, a mix of acceptance, and still a bit of vulnerability. They're not scared of discomfort. In fact, they've learned to thrive in it. Their scars aren't something they hide. And it's as if those scars are proof of everything they've overcome. Endless staircase gives off the feeling of being stuck in an endless loop. Constantly moving, but never really getting anywhere. It's that feeling when you have this 9-to-5 job and you kind of dread going to work because you literally do the exact same things. And yeah, the line reflects the frustration of going through the motions without this clear destination, almost like being trapped in a cycle that feels pointless. It speaks to that overwhelming sense of struggle, where no matter how much effort you put in, the finish line remains unclear, almost asking yourself if all the sacrifices are worth it, or are you just wasting your time? And at its core, it feels like this line captures the exhaustion of chasing something uncertain. Next line implies that everything you've been through, good or bad, is just part of this, of a bigger journey. Your story isn't over, and there's still so much more ahead. It's a reminder that your potential hasn't been fully realized yet, and the biggest challenges and victories might still be on the way. This line tells us about someone who's been through a lot, especially when it comes to facing challenges. The depot symbolizes a place where all their experiences, all the lessons, and all the battle scars are stored, ready to be used when needed. It's not really just about the past, it's also about, preparation for whatever comes next. The line carries this quiet confidence, one that's been earned through hardship. They've faced struggles, learned from them, and now stand ready for whatever may come their way. Next here, we feel like this line is a mindset that's, braced for difficulty. Like someone who's come to terms with the fact that struggles are inevitable. It's not just a passing thought, but something that's deeply ingrained. There's no freaking out or stressing out. Just this almost calm acceptance that tough times will come, and when they do, you're ready. It's a quiet kind of strength, maybe even this sort of practical way to get through life. Now, going through the whole verse, it tells us about someone who's been through it all, passing down some hard-earned wisdom to a younger person, in this context, probably the next generation of artists, and maybe even to someone who hasn't seen as much of life yet. It's a no-nonsense take on reality, acknowledging that struggle and hardship aren't just possibilities, they're guarantees. The verse isn't sugarcoating anything, it's just laying it out plainly. Life is a constant fight. Life is, a constant battle for survival. And if you're not ready for the next round, you'll be knocked down. This line hints at having a kind of insight that most people don't. Whether that's, intuition, deep empathy, or even just an ability to read between the lines. The mention of eyes suggests that their true feelings and thoughts are there for anyone willing to really look. It's almost like a test, like asking, "Are you really paying attention?" It's kinda like both a challenge and an invitation, you know? Daring the listener to see past the surface, past what is in front of you, and connect on a deeper level. Next, we have here someone whose dreams are limitless, you know, unbound by reality. It's about having a world where anything can happen, powered by pure will and determination. The quote-unquote universe makes it feel even bigger. You know, it's not just ambition, but the ability to see endless possibilities even when things get tough. It's that kind of resilience that turns struggles into stepping stones. It's a statement of self-belief and mental toughness. This line captures a moment of reflection before stepping into something new. It carries a sense of fulfillment. It's telling you that you've worked hard, finally reaching a long-awaited goal. But instead of rushing forward, they take time to appreciate the journey and its impact. It's a mix of pride, nostalgia, and uncertainty, and, you know, acknowledging both the victory of the present and also acknowledging the unknown that lies ahead. The verse shows us someone at a turning point caught between pushing forward and taking a moment to reflect. They've hit a big milestone, but instead of charging ahead, they pause to really take it all in. Maybe taking it all in for themselves and also, you know, for the people around them. It's cherishing this rare, vulnerable moment and taking time to process the journey. And yeah, maybe internally asking yourself, how does it feel? Or maybe even telling yourself, this is how it feels. This is how it feels to reach this milestone. The next line expresses some sort of, I guess we can say, path that maybe they perceive as undesirable or unexpected. Temptations in this case suggests a struggle between one's ideals and one's desires. It gives the feeling of, you know, being pulled in many directions. The line acknowledges the power of temptation and the difficulty of resisting it. It is grappling with internal conflicts, likely between, you know, their moral compass and their desires. Or maybe even being tempted to just follow what society is dictating, and how the allure of that is hard to resist at times. This line right here gives the feeling of persistent hardship and a search for answers. You know, it paints a picture of a life filled with unpredictability and challenges. It's almost like a cry for help, maybe even trying to look for explanation, and maybe even wondering why every action you make is twisted into something negative, even when it's not. The next line establishes the character as someone who faces challenges head-on. It suggests this, refusal to back down or avoid difficult situations. They are so dedicated to their current path or journey that they are refusing to be intimidated or pushed around. Then we have this moment of self-awareness, this moment of taking accountability. The line is owning up to their choices. They understand that this is the decision they made, and they are not dodging responsibility. There's also a hint of self-criticism, but also this clear willingness to face the consequences of their choices. Looking at the four lines together, the message is clearly about empowering. While there's struggle and self-doubt, there's also this resilience, acceptance, and a determination to push forward. Despite facing challenges, some maybe even self-inflicted, the character refuses to back down. Their never-ending desire might bring its own set of problems, but it's also what fuels their strength to keep going. It's about owning up to mistakes, it's about learning from them, and it's about, using that inner fire to rise above the chaos. This line is a clever way of saying, go ahead, keep talking. I'm listening. But there's really more to it than just being open to opinions. 2 cents may also mean unsolicited advice or criticism, and keep throwing suggests a constant stream of input, maybe even negativity. By saying, I'm all ears with 2 hands, the character isn't just passively taking it in, they're ready to catch whatever's thrown at them and make something out of it. It's the kind of mindset that takes hate or criticism and flips it into motivation, like turning negativity into an empowering song, for example. There's a balance of openness and quiet strategy here. They hear it all, but they're also gearing up to respond in their own creative, more productive way. This line oozes confidence, but not the arrogant kind of confidence. The line isn't just acknowledging their strength, they're putting it out there as an undeniable fact. But instead of being this, being outright aggressive, there's a playful, almost teasing edge to it. It's like saying, go ahead, test me if you want. It's a mix of self-assurance and a bit of a challenge, directed at anyone who might doubt them. The character knows exactly what they're capable of and isn't afraid to let it be known. This line is just pure, unshakable confidence.
I'm the great, the best, pessimist, and y'all cannot contest.
The next line is another bold, almost tongue-in-cheek declaration of self-acceptance. It isn't just acknowledging their pessimism, they're owning it, maybe even taking pride in it. There's irony in how this line is framed, almost as if they've turned this, what many of us perceive as something negative, into an advantage. It's not self-pity, it's this unique perspective that sees strength in embracing reality as it is. Instead of viewing pessimism as a flaw, the character wears it like a badge of honor, you know what I mean? Finding humor, wisdom, or even a sense of control in always being prepared for the worst. Next, we have here someone who is solid, someone who is unshaken, and fully focused on their own path. They're not looking for approval or validation because they don't need it. Compliments, flattery, or outside opinions, good or bad, don't sway them. It's a kind of confidence that comes from truly knowing your worth. They know that they move with purpose. They know that they are staying true to themselves no matter what's happening around them. They're not here to impress anyone. They're here to do their own thing, on their own terms. When you put the whole verse together, it paints a picture of someone who's confident, someone who's sharp, and unapologetically themselves. They're open to hearing what others have to say, but that doesn't mean they'll be easily influenced. They listen, they evaluate, but they will decide for themselves. This is someone who embraces their own perspective, stands their ground, and navigates the world using their wit, confidence, and self-assured detachment. They're not easily shaken, and they're always ready for whatever comes next. The next line is a call to self-sufficiency. It raises the question for one's ability to stand on their own. It challenges the listener to take ownership of their journey. There's no sugarcoating here. It's a push to step up. It's a challenge for us to be able to rely on oneself when no one is around to help us. And it challenges us to stop depending too much on others for stability. It's not just about independence, but it's also about resilience. the ability to keep moving forward no matter what, and also being able to have the strength to keep moving forward on our own. The next few lines is a reminder that fear and doubt are the biggest obstacles to success. It highlights this fragile nature of dreams and the need to actively protect and pursue them. It's not just about having ambition, it's about having the courage to push forward despite uncertainty. The message is clear. Faith in yourself is just as important as the effort you put in. It's more of not being afraid despite the possible failures. It's about this having confidence in knowing that maybe you'll fail in the beginning, but the knowledge and experience you gain while on that journey is worth every step you take. The next line is kind of like a wake-up call, about the cost of hesitation. It suggests that without action, there's really no real progress, only the regret of missed opportunities. It tells us how the true depth of experience, from joy to wisdom, comes from stepping outside our comfort zones. By avoiding challenges, we deny ourselves that chance to grow and fully understand what we're capable of, to fully see our potential, and how far we can push ourselves. Together, these lines deliver a very strong message about stepping up, about going out there and taking risks, and chasing our dreams. They remind us that independence and courage are key, not just for survival, but for real growth and fulfillment. It's all about moving forward. If you don't take that first step, you know what I mean, you'll never know what could have been. The verse encourages us to not let fear or hesitation hold us back. It is wanting us to challenge ourselves to go after what we want. Next, we have this deep reflection with another push for action. Everything has a reason speaks to the search for meaning, a way of making sense of life's ups and downs. But beyond just understanding, there's also a call to keep going, to push forward despite uncertainty. It's a call for acceptance and a call for our determination. You may not always know why things happen, but you can always choose to move forward and make the most of what's ahead. This line wrestles with the idea of limits. It's like asking ourselves, what happens when you've reached the peak? Is there anything beyond, or, are you just stuck? It's a question that challenges the idea of a final destination, hinting at a cycle where every ending leads to a new beginning. It carries a sense of, curiosity, maybe even frustration about purpose and direction. Is there always more to strive for, or do we eventually circle back to where we started? Or is the quote-unquote ending is just an illusion of a new beginning? Now let's go over the overall song meaning and how we interpret it. This song isn't about anger, it is but a deliberate expression of this, a hard-earned philosophy, almost like a stoic viewpoint. It's a battle cry, and it's fueled by a deep understanding of life's struggles. We don't really see it as like some sort of burst of emotion. The characters in the song, or the song itself, comes across as a seasoned warrior. You know what I mean. Battling both internal and external challenges, not just the literal physical ones. The heavy, upbeat, and what other people say as an angry sound is really important for getting the message across. It creates a sense of forward momentum, reflecting determination. The music's weight, what others say is quote-unquote loud, it emphasizes the significance of their experiences, the significance of the battles they've fought, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Now, we can't really fault those who easily misinterpret it as an angry song. The defiant tone, the powerful delivery, and the themes of confrontation can easily give that impression. However, if you dig a little deeper, right? If you dig enough, in fact, you'll find that this is not a song about anger. It's more, I guess, we can more accurately describe it as a controlled intensity and sort of, laser-focused determination towards something. The heavy sound reinforces this concept, and it's providing a sonic representation of their inner strength and passion. What we believe is the message of the song is about resilience, about self-acceptance, and a search for meaning. It's also a celebration of individuality, a rejection of societal norms, and a quest to find your own path in a world that, often feels chaotic and unpredictable. The song isn't angry at the world. The song is in fact more about embracing its challenges, using them as a tool to forge their own identity and purpose. This battle cry song isn't a call to something negative, like violence, for instance, but it is more like call to inner strength. It's a reminder that we all have the capacity to overcome whatever challenges is upon us, that we need to find strength to stand on our own, and to find meaning in our own unique journeys. The song is a tribute to the human spirit's ability, your ability, my ability, our ability to endure, our ability to adapt, and ultimately our ability to triumph over the challenges of life. It's not a war cry against life's hardship, but in fact a war cry against giving up. Damn is a song you will want to listen to when you feel like giving up, when you feel like there's no point in moving forward. Damn is that song that will motivate you to keep fighting. And there you have it, guys. Wow, that was a long one. If you've made it all the way to the end, we seriously appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on the essence and meaning of Damn, so feel free to share them in the comments below. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one.